Traderstation, what is going on? Here I have a very boring chart of the EURAUD. This was my EURAUD, Euro Aussie. This was my pick of the week in the podcast. Okay, it was a chart that I saw interesting and one that I am not in yet. And if you guys don't know what the podcast is, I don't know why you don't. You should be checking it out on Mixlr.com, Mixlr.com, and you can just type in the Traderstation podcast and you can find us. And we all start out with a pick of the week, and mine was this Euro Aussie here. And I just really like this level that we're at. So this is the daily chart. I'm just going to zoom in further here, and we have been going down, but you know, here we are, we're trying to break out below this price, and you can see we're finding a lot of buyers. Okay, when we broke down below this price, you know, we broke, you know, at least kind of far. And when we broke down below this price, again, we went a little bit further. But when we broke down below this price, we did not go as far. So it looks to seem like we're finding some buyers here. And this coincidentally is where we really broke out from strongly here back in late August. So this is definitely an area where bulls will come back and think it's an area of value, and that is why I really like this context. Now if we go over to the 4-hour chart, you can see we're really accumulating bars and we're trying to drift higher, but we are coming across some resistance here, the 50 EMA. I want to be a buyer of this, but to be honest, I want to be a buyer in the 51s, you know, in the high 51s. And I think a good place that I could, you know, put my stop loss at is around 150, just below 150, pretty much below where this started to take off here. And I want to, you know, get somewhere in the high 51 so that I only have to risk about 100 pips or so. And I think we could get up here on the daily chart to around 155, you know, just under this, and then potentially even, you know, maybe hold some of my position on for more, you know, into the 175s top of this, and who knows, maybe a whole trend reversal. I think this is what they call one of those good old-fashioned bear flags here. It's one of those good old-fashioned bear flags. You guys know I'm not big on those names, and it looks like we also have a channel here. So maybe the channel goes something like this. Maybe the channel goes something like this. Now, if you're a bear, there's obviously, you know, bears in the market too. Maybe they're thinking these channels hold, and these are what they're paying attention to, rather than me that's paying attention to this area where we broke out strongly from back in August. So if you're a bear, right now you're saying, oh, this is great, look at the 4-hour chart, we're going to come up to this 50 resistance. 50 was resistance here, it was resistance all up in this, it was resistance all up in this. The 50 is going to be resistance once again, and we will go down. And in this case, it looks like 55 is on top of this resistance line here, and it would be a good place to put their stop. So while I'm over here trying to buy somewhere in here in the 52 handle and get up to 55, you know, if I buy at 52 risk to 50, that's 100 pips, 200 pips, I'm sorry, and you know, I'm looking to make 300, possibly even holding for further 500. You know, it's a tough bet. That's why I kind of want to get closer in that 151.50 area, you know, somewhere over there. But nonetheless, the bears pretty much have the same risk to reward, because right now we're over here at, you know, 52.50 pretty much, and in order for them to risk to 55, you know, you're talking 250 pips, pretty much the same exact thing of me risking to 50 if I entered right here, 250 pips. So you can see the market is giving bulls and bears kind of like a balance at this point. And that's what the market tries to do. You know, it makes it difficult to find an edge. And when you do find an edge, that edge is, you know, very small. You're talking a 55% probability in your favor. You know, at times maybe you can get it up to 60%. And, you know, those few times in a year that you might see a 80% probability. You know, I don't think it gets much higher than that. But nonetheless, if you're a bear here, I think a good spot to put your stop is 55, and then you would be betting on a touch somewhere on the bottom of these channels. You know, you definitely be trying to get to 50. This channel is even lower. It'll probably be around, you know, 49, 48, 50 by the time price moves to the right and gets down there. So you're talking about, you know, 400 or 500 pips with a 250 pip risk for the bears. So that's a, you know, one of those fairly good 2-to-1, you know, risk reward ratios. But then again, if the bulls have the probabilities on their side, you know, and that's just me blindly assigning bulls the probability here because I like the context that we're at from where we broke out here. Say the bulls have a 55-60% probability, well then maybe it's worth it, you know, betting you know, 200 pips to make 300 or 400 pips, not to make that full 2-to-1, something like that, you know. So like I said, I like this context here. I want to be a buyer, but I want to be a buyer lower. Let's just look at the weekly chart to see what we got here. And you know, it's just looks like this was the climatic move. Let me get rid of these drawings here. And it looks like we had a climatic move. Remove drawing. There it is. Where the heck is it? Oh my god. Alright, so it looks like we had a climatic move over here. And as we were trying to find our way to the moving averages, we found our way to the 20. Okay, the 20 is fairly reliable. You can look over here. And you know, we've got bear bar, bull bar, bear bar, bull bar, bear bar. So we could continue that pattern, and that would take us up towards 55. I just don't think the bears were all that strong. I think this was climatic. I think we needed to reverse down, but now we found some support at the 20. And the question is, do we need to go lower? Do we need to touch the 50 before more buyers really come in? And my argument to that right now is no, simply because of where we are in the chart. You know, context-wise, from when we broke out a few months ago, and you know, just looking at this weekly chart, it just does not look like aggressive bears. So I think the bulls have a slight probability here. That's just me, and I'm going with a slight probability. Other people, like the bears, they want to be going for a better risk to reward ratio, and you know, they could be rewarded big, because I think if we break below this 151, 150 area, you know, we there's kind of like this, what do they call it, blue skies here, or in this case, blue waters, because we're going below. Like there's you know, this is at 47.50, the next support level. That's you know, that's 500-600 pips away from where we're at right now. So the bears definitely have pips to gain, but I think the bulls have a slight probability, and that is the only reason why I chose the bull case here. And again, I'd like to be a buyer at these levels, but I want to be a buyer lower, and I could very well miss this whole move and we could go up right away. But I don't think that is too probable. I think we'll get a little pullback at some point, and that is what I will be looking for. So I hope you found this video useful, guys. Thank you for listening, and until the next video.